Sports Minutes with Ziaul Raushan.
Money FM 89.3. It's time for Sports Minutes with me, Ziaul Raushan. Now, it's been just over a week since news broke that a certain Adam Swandi will be retiring from football at the age of 28 owing to a heart condition. And so while the mantra, New Year, New Me, is being thrown around this time of the year, for Adam, it means something entirely different. A new chapter, a new start, and a whole new reality. So what does this new start mean for the former sailor? Well, I'm delighted to be in the company of the man himself. Adam, welcome to Sports Minutes. How are you doing?
Hi everyone. I'm Adam here, and I'm doing great, I think, considering everything that's happening around me. And I'm just happy to be alive, to be here talking to all of you.
I can understand the uncertainty in your voice, but also there is strength in your voice in terms of overcoming everything that you have overcome. And we're going to talk about it in a short while, but it's only fair that I ask a former Lion about the Lions' performances at the AFF Championship recently concluded. For Singapore at least, what did you make of your former teammates and how they fared?
Of course, as a former Lion, and even if I was still playing, I'll follow the team closely, whether I was involved or not. And I'd say we actually did well, and we actually surprised a lot of naysayers. And of course, there's a lot of room for improvements, but I think we actually did pretty well considering all the problems we had, calling up our players and stuff. And I have to give a lot of credit to all the players for giving it their all. It wasn't easy, especially with the schedule being so tight, club schedule being around. And I was actually really proud of the boys for whatever they did. Of course, I think we deserve to have a better shot at it, in the semi-finals. I think everyone can agree. But it is as it is, and I'm just very proud of the boys.
Referee Kai, sorry. But let's continue the conversation. You talked about the national team there. I've heard you speak in various interviews since the news came out about having no regrets in your career, right? You've won trophies at club level. I'm keen to find out, at the national team level, do you have any regrets in terms of how much you achieved with them or didn't achieve?
Of course, as a player, I think no matter how decorated your career has been, there's surely some things that you could have improved. And I think for me, definitely I didn't win any silverware with the national team, and that's something that I look back and I feel a little bit disappointed. But in the end, like I always said, I'm never disappointed with whatever that has been in my life. I never regret any decisions. So whenever I had the chance to be on the pitch or to be with the team, I always gave my best. And maybe luck wasn't on my side to get any silverware, but I'm always happy and honoured to be representing Singapore whenever I'm being called upon.
And you had that special moment at the Jalan Besar Stadium soon after your announcement. How special was that? Because it was a sold-out crowd as well, to be honoured in that way.
I think honestly it was something that I didn't expect at all, because I haven't seen it happen before as well. And I understand that every single player retires after a certain age, whatever injuries or whatever. But I think in my situation, it's a bit difficult for everyone to digest as well, especially in the footballing industry where I'm supposed to be at my peak right now, and this happens. And I think I felt really honoured to be brought down there, to be honoured by the fans and even the FA and everyone around the players as well. And it's surreal to be given that opportunity to be there and say thank you to the fans and everybody for the support throughout my whole career, starting from the Lion City Cup days. Like I said, it will be a key memory in my life, like to be remembered that way. And I hope it's only gonna be a good start for me.
And there was a moment where Safwan broke away from the pre-match warm-up to come over and hug you. What did he say?
Yeah, I think I've been teammates with Safwan for a long time as well. He's one of the best players in the national team, and I respect him a lot, especially him as a player, as an adult. He's a very composed man, especially knowing that he has been out from the national team for quite a while also, having a medical condition, and then he came back into the national team scene, and he came back with a bang, I'd say. So him coming to me, I think, definitely gave me a sense of belonging. Like I felt like I actually belonged to the team as well. And yeah, of course he didn't have much time to say anything to me because he was warming up for a game. But the fact that he broke away from the team and to give me a hug definitely gave me a lot of indication from the team as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it shows you the mark of Safwan for him to take time from his pre-match warm-up to come out and hug you. You talk about Safwan being a stalwart of the national team, right? I want to quickly touch on another stalwart of the national team before we talk about you. And the person I want to talk about is Haris Harun. There's been talk that he could potentially announce his international retirement. And I understand, I think everybody knows the levels of professionalism and the ability that Haris possesses. But you've shared the dressing room with him at club level as well as at national team level. Just how big an influence is he on your career and also on all the people who play football professionally in Singapore?
I think all of us in the footballing scene, especially the players, we can strongly say that he is the most important player in the whole national team, the whole in Singapore football industry for the last 10-15 years. My whole career, he was always at the top of the chain, and I always feel like he is the main motivator in the games. Of course, in the games you want to play well for your family, for yourself, for the country. But when you're on the pitch with him, like you feel like you want to slack, and then you get reminded that Haris is behind you, and it's no nonsense. So I really think that every single player really needs his presence to be around to be at our very best. And I can say that even up till now, every single one of us, we need him. As much as he's getting older now, but his presence is something that nobody can replicate. And it is crazy how influential he is in my footballing career, and I'm sure in many other players who are coming up as well, because he's such a big captain. He's not just a captain on the pitch, but captain everywhere, I think.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think there's been social media chatter about Haris getting older, but it's important that a former pro shares what Haris brings beyond what we all see, right? Let's move on the conversation to you and the recent announcement about your heart condition. I've read that when you found out the news, you were in the doctor's office with someone from the Lion City Sailors as well. But what was that moment for you like personally? Because I've been in situations where I'm dreading to find out the worst news, and then you find it out and it dawns upon you. What was your emotions then?
I will always say that it's actually confusion, because throughout our whole career, I think as footballers, we only expect ourselves to retire with age, and of course sometimes with some injuries, when you can't seem to come back, can't seem to find your feet after that. But it came to me in such a weird manner, I think. Just being told like overnight, you can't play football professionally anymore, and that's technically the only thing I knew how to do my whole life, because I've been playing football the whole time. I turned professional before I even realized it, and then suddenly I'm being told, no more professional football for you, and it's honestly just a blur for me. I didn't actually wrap my head around the whole news only until maybe a week or after, because I always felt that there was always a way back into it, rehab or some sort of whatever illness that I had. And then I think even the club representative was actually quite confused as well. Like, we all thought that, maybe we can find another opinion that says otherwise, but in the end, it is what it is. So it sunk in slowly. I think the fact that it sunk in slowly, it made it a bit easier for me, because it's not like something that I had to accept immediately. And the club was also there for me throughout the whole saga, I would say. And it was actually calming for me in a way that, it's not immediate, you are going to get just terminated. We can't take care of you anymore because you're no longer a player. So that gave me the sense of sense of belonging to them, and also I really thank them for actually helping me to receive the news with a peace of mind.
I can't wait to talk to you about how helpful the Lion City Sailors have been. But just quickly on that condition as well, you talk about taking time to digest it, right? And you also mentioned the fact that there wasn't really a choice. So was there almost a question in your mind of why me? Like, did you feel that? Like, it's not like I can play a few more games and then I can make a decision. It was, sorry, Adam, you can't play anymore. So did you feel that?
Of course, it was a hard pill to swallow. Like, I thought, like you said, maybe I needed to make a decision, but in the end, when I look back at things, I think it was for the betterment of everything. Not given the choice to actually play or not was actually good for me, because it's a one-way road. For me, I have no choice but to close that chapter and then move on. And I think it's really up to me now how I want my life to be. Whether I want to dwell on the past, which no one can do anything, even myself, or look forward and see what are the big opportunities I have ahead.
And we talk about those dark days, taking some time to digest the information. Who do you seek counsel from? Your family, friends, who are part of that inner circle?
Of course, I come back every day to my wife. So she was like my pillar of strength. And amongst all this chaos, I think she was definitely the most unfazed about it. And that actually, without me realizing, like now I look back at how things were, gave me the confidence to move forward in life. Because I think as a sole breadwinner in the family, I think wives are supposed to be concerned, especially when their husbands can't work anymore, whatever they do. But she was the most unfazed. She's like, oh, what's meant for you will be for you. So don't worry, you can't play football anymore, but it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. So that actually set the mood for me to move on with my life. And I think, of course, having a boy definitely changed my perspective on life as well. Now as parents, we live for our kids. So my target now, of course, is to live as long as possible and to see them grow, to see him grow into a man that I think I'm responsible in molding. And I think this experience for me is actually something that is a blessing for me, because now I'm at home more and I can see him grow, I can see his milestones, and I can share more time with my family as well.
No, Adam, I absolutely love your mindset and the way you're going to approach this. I think the future is going to be very bright for you. Just quickly, I have to ask you about this condition. We know you can't play football professionally, but is your day-to-day affected in any way?
I'm thankful for this, especially because my day-to-day hasn't been affected at all. I'm still okay to do my daily things, but of course now I'm being barred from doing any sports, but I think that is manageable. It's just that when the time comes, I think when my feet speaks for itself, I think I might probably play some leisure football, but there's a time and place for it. But now I'm just happy to be able to go through my days comfortably and without any worries.
I think you got a lot of listeners excited when you say you don't mind playing leisure football. They might slide into your DMs asking you to join their team. Let's talk about your footballing career. Earlier you said you almost became professional without knowing, right? You shot to prominence at the Lion City Cup. Does it form any form of consolation that you shot to prominence at such a young age? So you had a good decade or so, even more than that, in fact, playing at the highest level.
I think, of course, I have to be grateful for that as well. And it's not just myself to be appreciative for, because in the end it's a whole village. So yes, I was a player, I performed well on the pitch and stuff, but it definitely needed a whole village to hype me up, to give me the platforms that I actually went further into. And I think I have to thank everyone behind the scenes, especially to actually get me to where I am today. Like you said, I came into prominence when I was younger, and I think it definitely helped me for my branding, especially as a player. Of course, as a player, it's always ups and downs. Performances come and go. But I felt like because of what I did at my younger age, I was always kept in the loop of the national team. Yeah, even though some of my years where I didn't perform too well, I was always under the eyes of the national team coach. And I think I'm very thankful for that. But in the end, I think it's the people behind the scenes that actually made it happen.
And when you talk about being in the national team, I went into the rabbit hole of watching all your younger days videos in preparation for this. And I must say, you were some player. You talk about the village giving you a platform to get excited and play well. You got all of us excited, all of us Singapore football fans. And one hashtag that's doing its round since you made your announcement, apart from hashtag thank you Swandi, is the streets will never forget. That's a hashtag that's commonly associated with ballers. I'm just going to say it, right? How does that make you feel when that hashtag is associated with you and the type of player that you are?
I think, of course, for people that's been watching me playing since I was younger, I think most people will regard me as a player who likes flair, who likes football, being played with the ball, dribbling and skills. And I would say that that's something that actually gave me the most happiness in football. And my passion in football really stayed up there because of the enjoyment I get from it. And yeah, it's an honor to be given that hashtag. And for me, it's something that I want the younger generation to feel that that's the difference that they can make as well. Of course, I wasn't so much of a big player, but for a minority bunch of people, they gave me that hashtag, which means something to me as well. And I hope the younger generation will. Football has evolved quite a bit, but like I always say, I always believe the entertainment value in football lies within the skills and the trickery, and I think that will live forever. Of course, it has downsized a little bit in this current world, but it will always be essential.
Adam, I promise you the streets will never forget some of the shows you put up, be it at JBS or anywhere else that you played, right? Locally, I know Shahril Ishak is a big inspiration for you growing up, but I'm keen to find out, in the European level, who are some players who you try and recreate?
When I was younger, during my carefree footballing days, I actually really looked up to Robinho.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because, yes, I think the younger boys right now will not know who he is. He didn't make it so big in for example, like Ronaldo and everyone. But Robinho was a crazy, skillful player. And he was just out there to entertain. Yes, of course, looking at him as a professional player, as an ex-professional player, we know that sometimes the things he did wasn't necessary. But it gave me the excitement, and it sparked my passion, especially at the younger age, to, I want to do this on the weekend. I want to do this in the friendly game I have this Sunday. And it actually honestly sparked a lot of happiness I have for the game, especially because he was playing carefree, and I always feel that football should be played that way. And Robinho, I think, is a very unpopular opinion for most people to be an idol, but I think that I have to give credit where it is. He actually gave me like the mindset that I can just play football however I want and let everyone judge. It doesn't matter, but I just want to play.
I think it's very poetic that you chose a player who essentially will fall under that same hashtag, the streets will never forget, because of the way he used to play. And you're absolutely right. Playing football to put a smile on fans' faces is something a player like you did as well. I want to touch on your boy who you mentioned. Now you're able to enjoy his milestones, be with him more because there's no away days. You're not tied to a schedule, right? And you mentioned not wanting to tell him you're a footballer, a bit like your father did to you. But I'm keen to find out, is there almost a regret that he won't be able to watch you play, knowing, because I understand he's 3 or 4 years old now?
Definitely, I think for me, I don't have any regrets because let's say he wants to play football, I wouldn't want him to be under some kind of pressure as well. And if I was still playing and he started playing at youth levels, I think there will be some kind of pressure for him. And I think right now, if he decides to play maybe at like 7, 8, probably most people will forget who I am as a player as well. So he has no pressure, and I think without pressure, it's enjoyable to play football, especially at a younger age. And I think even if he doesn't know that I was an ex-footballer, I think eventually he will know, because by that time, I guess most of the coaches will be probably my ex-teammates and everything. So he will eventually know, and I just hope if he wants to try football, he wants to play football, he will just do it because of his love for football, not for the pressure.
And in terms of advice for young ones who want to play football, be it your boy when he's much older or any of the listeners who are listening in, right? What advice would you give them, having been there, done that?
To me, I think most importantly, you have to keep your passion high, because in the end, that's what keeps you in the game, especially when you want to try to make it pro. And especially, I think most important is when you're already a pro, because yes, passion dies down a little, because now whatever you do, like football used to be something that you do out of passion, becomes a job, and there are many things around football as well. So you just have to do it because of your love for the game, because if you take it like a job, it's only gonna be difficult for you, and it's not gonna turn out well. So just enjoy the game as much as possible. Of course, football is a tough game, out of, let's say, you have 20 batchmates who are in the youth system, and probably only one or two become eventual professional players, and it's a tough trade, but it's going to be worthwhile, especially when you look back and realize all the hard work and all the blood, sweat and tears is paying off. Yeah.
There you go, you heard it from Adam himself. Let's shift the conversation to the Lion City Sailors and how big a part they've helped you in this transition. But before that, right, I have to clear a query. Sailors are on course to contest for the title this year. If they do secure the Singapore Premier League title, does Adam Swandi get a medal?
I know they're going to win it, so I hope I'm going to get the medal, but I have no doubt in the boys, and I think we are definitely going to bring the title home, and I hope I can be there to lift the trophy with them.
Oh wow, he's already part of the trophy celebrations. Ken in the room is smiling along because he knows that's going to make social media content as well, right? Let's talk about the Lion City Sailors and how much they've helped you in this transition. You touched on it earlier, the medical staff who was in the room with you, but I'm keen to find out the likes of Luka Lalic, Badri, Coach Ranko. How big a part did they play to help you deal with the news and assure you that the future, you're still a sailor in the future?
I think what I mentioned before this, they were always there to calm my nerves, especially because like Luka, Badri, all of them knew that they had to prepare for the worst. So and the worst happened. I can't play anymore. But they managed me pretty well, and I have to thank all of them, especially those who were really close to me, especially, and I think the boss as well. The boss, Bruce, I think everyone gave me the assurance that not to worry about my near future, especially because the club is there to support me in whatever ways that they can. And that actually gave me the peace of mind. I wouldn't be this relaxed and open about everything if I was still in a dilemma, because in the end, I think what we want is to be stable. And financially, it's also very important to be stable, because it gives us all the assurance and also the mental stability on top of that. And I think that is sorted within the club, and I'm very thankful for that, because I'd say I wouldn't be treated this way if I was in another place. And I'm eternally thankful to every single one of them, especially boss, for actually saying that they are gonna take care of me, and they actually take good care of me. And there's no words nothing that I can do to repay whatever that they've done for me, and I'm just happy to be here, and I just want to contribute back to LCS as much as possible.
No, I think your honesty is so telling. You don't have to say it, I'll say it. In a league where players are not often taken care of, there's one-year contracts or short-term contracts, to think that the club has stepped in to secure your future, massive kudos to the Lion City Sailors. Let's move on to your future. Is it coaching that you're looking at?
Coaching is always the biggest industry that an ex-footballer will get into, and I think probably 75% of the professional players turn to coaching after their career. And of course, I'm not going to close that door. I think that is what I'm most probably good at, especially being out of this professional scene. But I think Lion City Sailors has given me the platform to actually venture in whatever that I actually want to. So yeah, right now I'm on a hybrid role, let's say. I want to see how it works in other aspects of football in the club as well, and they are giving me the opportunity to try whatever I want. So I am trying to see what's the best that I can bring out of myself other than football, to see whether I can value add to the club or to the football industry as in general.
Is it weird for you to almost swap doing something you're so comfortable at to almost, I feel like you're now at the intern level, right? You're going to try different things and see what you find worthy of pursuing, right? Do you find it weird?
Of course, I think especially the work timings. Yeah, because I'm so used to just coming for training, and then you leave when training is done, and then you don't bring any baggage home. You leave whatever happened in the training just there and then. And then when game comes also, whether you win or lose, it happens there and then you just look up. If you lose that game, and then you look up to the next game. That's how fast the football world is for us players. But in a different point of view, football is not as simple as that. It's a business. It affects everybody as well, whether the first team wins or lose. So I think that's where I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to cope with all these changes, and it's a bit nervy for me, but it's exciting times coming for me as well, because I feel like I have a good experience in the professional football scene, and now I hope I can bring that of some sort to the other side.
Nowadays got emails lah, calendar invite lah, Zoom invite lah. All right, if it is coaching that you follow through on, right, do you expect or do you have a vision of coaching at the very highest level, be it Singapore Premier League or national team?
Right now I have I don't have expectations of myself as well, because it's my retirement has come in all of a sudden. So I'm taking it slowly. I don't want to say, okay, I want to do coaching and I want to be a big coach in the future and stuff. But I just want to see where my interest is, especially because I know in football, or even in the coaching scene, you need some passion in it. And playing and coaching is a totally different world. So I want to try to get into it, but I wouldn't say that is my final goal. So I'll see how it is, and I wouldn't close that door, especially. Maybe one day I can contribute as a national team head coach. So I'll just go as far as I can and see where my life leads me.
And on the topic of coaches, I know this is a tricky question for you because you're scared you might forget somebody, but who are some of the coaches who had the biggest impact in Adam Swandi's career?
I think in my professional scene, I would have to give credit to Coach Aidil. I think he took me from Young Lions to the Home United team, which is now Lions Sailors, at a time where I actually fell out of love for football a little. I was having a tough time at Young Lions in the previous year because of NS. It's been tough for me, and then performances they weren't coming, and I actually fell a bit out of love for the game, professional game, and I had thoughts of just quitting football, just retiring from professional football. But I think he had that faith and trust in me. He brought me in, and I think I said this before, that my first game with the club was a regional tournament. I think it's AFF, or I don't know, I forgot.
AFC Cup?
AFC Cup. It was the qualifiers for it. I think and it was an away game. I actually didn't do too well, and I thought, there goes I blew my chance. I started the game, I didn't do too well, and then the return leg at home, on the day itself, I was in camp. I was still doing NS. Coach Adi called me. He asked, "Are you ready for this game?" I said, "I'm always ready for the game." He said, "I'm going to start you again," and it actually gave me the hope and the belief that I actually needed, and it sparked a lot of passion in me. So he gave me that trust, and that game, thankfully, thank God, I actually did well. I think I scored or assist, something like that, and I performed quite well. And I think my professional career actually broke through, especially in the clubs, broke through from there onwards. I think that year, Home United did pretty well as well. I definitely enjoyed my football there, playing with big players, especially at that time, Haris, Hassan, Faris. It's a core memory for me as well, being in that team as a young player. I think I was 21, being in a team with full of star players, and I actually really enjoyed my time there. And I felt that Coach Adi is someone that I need to mention, especially to give me that life in professional football, and then things sparked out from there.
Wow, that's really fascinating. Thank you for sharing it so honestly. A lot of people have been saying thank you, Adam. I think it's only fair we say thank you, Aidil, at this point as well, for giving you the career or the platform to go on and build that career that you did, right? Now, Adam, you are so well spoken. You are excellent when you conduct this interview. You might even take over Sports Minutes one day, who knows. But do you consider a career in media? Perhaps we've seen Hassan Sani do it.
I think now Hassan is my idol. Yeah, but of course the nasi lemak part is that's his forte. Yeah,
we stick to the eating lah, maybe.
I think, of course, as a player, we've been given this platform to be out there. Many people in the fans, people in the sports industry, they know us. So I think we need to make use of this platform that we've been given, and when the opportunity arises to be in front of the cameras or to be involved in media, I think that's something that we need to grab with both hands, because these opportunities don't actually come easily. And I think this is definitely something that myself, I try to be as well spoken as possible, because I think it gives me a bit of credibility. And I think if I didn't speak well for myself, I wouldn't be where I am today. And it's a very important trait, especially not just as a sportsman, but as a person, as an adult, to be able to speak well for yourself, because you never know where it's going to bring you. But to always be able to speak well, it reflects on everything: your upbringing, your personality, and also how you are going to, for me especially as a father now, how I'm going to lead as an example for my kid.
Well, that's a fantastic point. And you talk about credibility as a fan, right? I'm quite excited because we joke about Hassan, but you possibly coming into the media, you guys are credible characters who've done it in recent times. So you'll add such a great dimension to the media scene if and when it happens. There's always a seat safe for you on Sports Minutes as well if you do want to do that. Final 2 questions. If you could relive any one day in your football career, what would it be and why?
That's quite tough, because I've had numerous of core memories in my footballing career. But I'd say the moment that I got my first call up with the national team, it was surreal, because I was like 17 plus, and I was playing in FC Metz at the point of time. And then I got a call from, I forgot who the team manager was at the point of time, and then they informed me that I was going to be called back for the senior national team, and it was mind-blowing for me, because at the point of time I was just playing football for fun. You know, you were young, you were a kid, you thought that football is just fun and games. And then I was being called for the national team, and I still remember the first day I came to the old Kallang training center with the kampong like changing rooms. And then coming into the changing room with big players, big players, Abai, Sharil, even Chuli was there, Nur Rahman. It's surreal. Like I always said, I used to look at them as idols. Like, honestly, I didn't even think I would share changing rooms with them, but there was difficult for me to digest that situation. But time goes on, I have to live in that moment. And I'm always very thankful for that, and it's a nerve-wracking situation for me as well, being a young kid. And then I think the second youngest player there was Faris Ramli.
Wow.
And he was like 4 years older than me, so he was more integrated with the team rather than me. So I didn't know who to speak to, what to call them, uncle, abang. It's nerve-wracking, and eventually time flies. And now I'm happy to say that most of them, they are like really big brothers to me, and they are always there for me, especially during my playing days. And I'm sure they are there for me as well right now. And that's a big memory for me, that it's something so surreal that I can say, because from a dream it became a reality.
Wow, you did achieve some fantastic dreams. You've name-checked so many A-listers in terms of Singapore football. That's going to make my final question to you extra hard. But let's say you decide to play futsal. So you need to pick an ultimate 5-a-side team in terms of players you've shared the dressing room with.
This is going to be tough, because I've played with many players. And in goal, I think definitely I would say my fellow media buddy, Hassan. I think I've always looked up to him, especially as a player. When I was playing, I felt extra secure to do my skills and tricks, because I knew if I lost the ball, he's always at the back to guard the goal. And then a defender, I think I'll take a defender who's not like a defender, Irfan. I've been close to him all my life, all my younger playing days, and he was also an attacker before he changed it
to clarify, Irfan Fandi, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think putting him in my 5-a-side team definitely will add some flair also, because if I'm the one leading the team, I say you don't have to defend too much, just attack, just do some skills. I have to put Max. I think nobody can ask me why I take him.
Of course.
He's a crazy player, immaculate player. If I can include myself, I will play. Of course, I don't want to be on the sidelines. But now, in reality, I cannot. I definitely want to play. And I'll take one more. Probably I take Diego.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I think although I shared the pitch with him for maybe around 2-3 years, he actually left a lot of impact in me, especially as a player. Because although many players feel like Brazilians, they attackers especially, they just attack, they don't want to defend, but he proved otherwise. As much as people see his flair up front, he actually worked really hard for the team. Every single time, every single match, he, even in SPL matches, even in matches that people say, oh, it's a walk in the park, but he worked extra hard. And he was actually my direct, inspiration when I was playing, because I thought that I was always playing roughly in his position, number 10 position, and he actually showed me how to play the game intelligently. Like he's always thinking more than playing, and that's a trait where it's very rare in players, and I managed to see it firsthand, and it's really astonishing for me, and I feel like he's one hell of a player. And then of course I can only choose 5, but of course I will definitely put in Sharil if I could, and maybe I can sit at the side and then let Sharil play. Yeah, I think I have to give credit to Sharil because he was a local idol when I was younger as well. Down the wings with his Mercurial Vapor boots. I think every kid wanted to be him. I wanted to do skills because of him. And he was an idol, and then he turned into a teammate and friend. And I think he had a wonderful career as well. MVP for the EFF. So yeah, 5 players, including me or not including me. That's my top 5 players. But of course, I have 1,000 other players I can name. But it's just that, sorry guys to all of you, but I'll take you if I open up my own team. I'll take all of you.
And don't worry, futsal is usually rolling substitution, so it's completely fine. I know I promised last question, but I have one final question for you, and I promise this is the last one. Right? When you look back on your career, right, if there's one goal you look back on and you relive, what goal would it be?
As a player, I don't really remember my goals, because I'm a player that I would prefer assists over goals, and it's something that I don't really look back on. But I would probably say my first goal for the national team, because it brings back a lot of memories as well for me, and it's an important milestone as a player as well, to score for your national team. It took me a couple of years to get that goal, and it meant something. And I think I remember the goal quite clearly as well. Song getting the ball and then backhailing it to me, and I just wanted to score, and it's been a long time coming, and it felt I felt relief, especially because I finally managed to score a goal for the national team, and it meant a lot for me, as much as for the team as well, to win the games. It meant a lot for me, and to do it in the national stadium as well. I felt like it's a checklist tick in my career, and that's the most probably important goal. It wasn't the most beautiful goal, but it was the most memorable goal, I'd say. And
I think it's poetic that you got on the score sheet on your final minutes on the pitch as well. So fair play to that. I've mentioned the hashtag "The Streets Will Never Forget." Adam Swandi, the streets will truly never forget everything you've done for yourself at club and national level, but for the country as well. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to Sports Minutes.
Thank you so much for having me, and I wish all of you all the best, and I hope you guys pray for me that I'll come back to give back to Singapore football as much as I can.
We certainly will. We've been speaking to Adam Swandi, a former sailor who's rewriting his narrative in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.